Good evening, and welcome to the Town of Abingdon's Historic Preservation Review Board regular meeting. This is a citizen board appointed by the Town Council to interpret and uphold Abingdon's Historic Preservation Ordinance, which is Chapter 44, Section 2-4 of the Abingdon Zoning Ordinance that protects the Historic District of Abingdon, which has been designated the Old and Historic District, along with all its contributing resources, including buildings, structures, and sites from negative encroachment resulting from inappropriate construction, design, alterations, or demolitions. Our review process is guided by our design review guidelines, which are based on the United States Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation. Our aim on this board is to provide a positive bridge between the design review process and property owners seeking to make changes, working together through the natural partnership that exists between us for mutual good. The result will be to ensure Abingdon's Historic District continues as a valuable asset and one that makes Abingdon a good place to live, to work, and to visit. We appreciate your interest and we encourage public participation in our meeting. Your comments are important to our decision-making process. Anyone who addresses the board will please approach the podium, identify yourself by name and last name, and give your complete mailing address. Thank you very much. I'm Betsy White, the chair. Roll call.
Mr. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Here.
Mrs. White?
Here.
And Mrs. Bunn?
Here.
All right. The first order of business is approval of the minutes of our regular meeting on April the 3rd, 2024. Has everyone had time to review those? Do we have a motion to approve them?
I have a correction.
All right. Peyton Boyd has a correction.
Number 4, the treadway. In that second paragraph, I was not the representative. T.J. Pruitt was the representative, which it states in the italicized portion above.
Okay.
Yeah. Right here.
All right. Did you find that, everybody?
Yes.
On page 8.
Okay. All right. It's on page 8. Peyton Boyd is listed as the representative, and he is not the representative. So the correction would be
T.J. Pruitt.
P.J. Pruitt.
T.J.
T.J. Pruitt would be the correction there. This is on page 8.
And there's a little typo under that on the word valley.
In that same paragraph,
Yeah.
Valley Street is misspelled. Any other corrections or additions? So if not, can we have a motion to approve with that amendment?
I move to approve as amended.
Okay,
I'll second.
Peyton Boyd moves to approve as amended, and Dwayne Anderson seconds that motion.
Mr. Boyd?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
And Mrs. Bunn?
All right. So we'll get on to our certificates of appropriateness now, the good part. The first one is Bernard Keith Hurley, 269 King Street. Certificate of appropriateness for the new construction of a wooden deck and chairs located at 240 Dale Street, Abingdon. First of all, we'll start with the staff report.
So Keith Hurley, applicant/owner, has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for the construction of a wooden deck and stairs approximately approximately onto the southwest corner of the existing CMU building. The property is located at 240 Dale Street. The property is within the Old and Historic Zoning District, Subdistrict 2, the residentially focused subdistrict. Some background. According to the Department of Historic Resources, DHR, their VCRIS database, 240 Dale Street was built in 1920. The building possesses a good level of architectural integrity. Access to the site will be from King Street or Dale Street. Staff findings. The applicant proposes to construct a wooden deck and stairs approximately onto the southwest corner of the existing CMU building. On March 19, 2024, staff issued a stop work order when they observed a wooden deck and stairs partially constructed without receiving prior approval from the HPRB. The applicant submitted an application for a COA and understands the need to gain both the HPRB's approval of the COA and apply for and receive approval of a building permit. No building permit has been submitted at this time. The main deck will measure 6 feet by 15 feet with a landing at the top of the stairs measuring 6 feet by 8 feet. Structural components of the columns under the deck include rectangular posts measuring 4 inches by 6 inches and joists measuring 2 inches by 8 inches. The deck flooring will measure 2 inches by 6 inches, the rail/newel posts 4 inches by 4 inches, and the top and bottom rail 2 inches by 4 inches, and the pickets 2 inches by 2 inches. All architectural and structural members and features will be fabricated from pressure-treated wood, painted iron ore as labeled by Vaspar and stained as semi-solid. The initial staircase handrail concept using wire mesh over X-style handrail has been changed to standard 4-inch vertical pickets, OC. No wire mesh will be included in any part of the design. So as you can see, here's a picture of the partially built deck. When conducting property research, staff found DHR had photographed the building in 2020 when conducting an architectural reconnaissance survey. Here's that photo right here. This is from King Street, looking down into the lot. When comparing the 2020 photo to the photo taken by staff the week of April 15th through the 19th, numerous changes to the building's exterior can be seen. 1, the CMU building was painted white. Now the building is painted black. An entryway with wood-framed shed roof clad in gray asphalt shingles located on the west elevation was removed. So it would be this right here. I'm circling with my cursor. The black painted metal awnings located over each of the second-story windows were removed. The southwest facing second-story 1/1 window was replaced by a panel door painted white. So it would be right here. This is where the new door is. New half-round gutters and downspouts have replaced existing and/or installed where none existed previously. The hipped roof was clad in gray asphalt shingles. Now an unpainted metal roof clads the hipped roof. A brick chimney protruded from the hip roof. The chimney has been removed. Staff could not find any record of approval for 240 Dale Street alterations as stated above. So we searched through our records and I could not see any approval of COA for any of these that I just listed for you. Again, here's the partial deck and how it looks now. There's the door that you can see that replaced that window. And here's the reconnaissance photo. So this is where the door is. Here's the shed awning. And then here's just examples of the metal awnings that were there before. And that's just another side one. That's from Dale Street.
Okay.
And then just to finish off, therefore, in order to bring this property into compliance, the HPRB should make a motion to accept all the changes that the applicant has made to the structure, if you so choose. If the HPRB does not agree with the changes made to the structure, a motion to require the applicant to revert portions of the exterior changes to the previous design would be required. In addition, no building permit has been approved. If the building permit process, the design of the deck changes significantly, then that the applicant will have to apply for an amendment to the COA then. But I've talked with Rick, and at the moment, we don't see anything that would
Trigger that.
trigger that
Okay.
at the moment, so.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Hurley here?
Yes, I am.
Would you come up and talk to us?
Sure.
Thank you. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Would you say your name and your address?
Bernard Keith Hurley,
And your address?
269 King Street.
Okay. All right, all right. I bet you didn't realize that you had to do that, right?
The building is falling apart inside.
Yes.
It's eaten up with termites, so I kind of had to move the stair to the outside. because the old stair was more like a ladder inside. It was like, anyway, it got beyond what we intended. And I want a Luthery shop. It actually had 2 apartments in it at one time, but it was, we had a lot of water problems inside, that's why the termites.
Uh-huh.
And the roof was leaking pretty badly. And anyway, I want a Luthery shop on the first floor, and then we'll continue having an apartment on the second floor.
Okay. So, what we have here in our packets is a drawing that I guess you have supplied this drawing. This is your plan for it, which is on page
Correct.
8 of our packets.
Correct.
Right. Can that be shown on the screen?
But not the railing is shown.
No, well, we held off on the railing because we wanted something that was approved. So I brought a detail. You want to come on up about the wrought iron?
So what we have is, can you show that?
We have like a pencil drawing. Do you have, is this something that you've made?
That would be the.
Yes.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
that's what she's referring to.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
okay.
That's what
Yeah.
we're looking at. And is that your plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Only without the,
without the
I'll give you
X's.
this.
Okay.
We had changed, this is also, but it gives you an idea of the.
And those are wood?
It's also wood. I don't know if we could use wrought iron up there, or, whatever is appropriate. I mean, today it was mentioned that wrought iron might be an option, but, this is more typical of what we have on our house over on King Street so.
Okay. So do you want to then change from these sort of X looking?
We're not doing that. We
You're not-
thought that would be difficult. I mean, it was suggestion that might be a difficult.
Okay. So you
Be
either
difficult to approve.
you want to do these
Straight line.
straight.
Yes,
straight-
what's more typical?
the
Yeah,
straight-
the
the
straight
straight-
vertical pickets.
Okay.
4 inches on center. They'll terminate onto the bottom rail rather than bypass it.
Right, on the rail. They won't go into the floor.
Yeah.
They'll go into
No,
the rail.
no,
into
they'll
the
go-
into
they'll
the
terminate
bottom
on the bottom rail.
bottom rail.
Contact
Okay.
4 inches.
And so are they
So
the
this would
correct
be- this would be less than that.
distance apart?
Yeah, if it's 4 inches, so.
They're designed.
but-
They're
Yeah,
designed the
meet-
correct
They
distance
meet
apart.
the requirement.
Okay,
At 4
so-
inches on center, that'll leave
Okay,
about
so
3.5
have you
inches.
read the guidelines then about railings? You've read our
Yes.
guidelines?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
So do you want us to take this as a clump, since it's sort of already, or do we have to go down one by one?
So first, I would say you would make a decision on the deck, and then you would have to make a decision on if the actions that were done without approval that I stated, if you would approve those, or if you deny those and you want it to be reverted back to how it was before.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So let's back up then just for a second. Are you saying that we should make a ruling on what has been accomplished already without a COA?
Mhm.
Okay, and then we will go forward on
Yeah.
what is left to do. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
makes sense.
with all
Okay.
these 1 through 7, you would say approved or denied, and then you make a motion, either you would have to revert back to what was there before.
All right, so that's on page 10.
Yes.
There's a list of what's been done.
I was just gonna say, if in your discussion you all, let's just say you went through all of these and said, we're fine with all of
Uh-huh.
them, you don't have to make 7 motions.
We can
Right.
make a
You
motion
could
that
make one
encompasses
motion
all of
that
them.
approved all of them.
Right.
Or if there was one that you said, well, no, we really want them to put back the chimney, then you could just have that one. So you don't have to make 7 motions. Poor Jamie on her first day on the job.
Was your
No.
chimney just a non-used to a non-used vent? or-
It was only used as a vent for
A vent
furnace
for
at one
furnace
time.
vent.
So it was, I guess at one time they used coal in there.
Yeah,
So we just took it below the roof line, that's what we did.
so you didn't, it's
And we
not,
left
it's
it exposed
non-functional.
inside as a design feature.
Okay.
It's only about this big.
Yeah, it doesn't look very big in that picture.
All right. Any other comments on these 7? I don't think we need to read them again. I think
No.
we reviewed them pretty thoroughly. Okay,
Yeah, if you,
okay. Any questions on them?
They're all things that, if we had done this the way we should have done it, they're all things that we would have asked for.
Yeah.
Everything that you see there.
Mm-hmm.
We paid extra for the gutter
Yeah.
and downspout, and we wanted to comply. I mean, you know, I like the criteria
Mm-hmm.
of having a historic district, so.
That's
got ahead
good.
of ourselves.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, we can see that he's got half-round gutters.
Yeah, I mean,
and
everything
downspout.
on here is
Everything
within our
looks good.
guidelines.
All right.
So I guess I can make a motion that we approve the 7 items on page 10 of our packet that have been already completed or mostly completed.
And I've applied for a building permit
Okay,
when I submitted this, but I haven't given them a detail on the rail yet. I wanted to make sure.
all right,
that
well, how
it was
about if we
approved here.
do this little part for now?
Okay.
So that you're not in trouble or out of compliance or anything for
Okay.
what you've already done. We'll get that out of the way, and then we can go back and look at the building permit and the railings, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. I don't think, there won't be a problem with the inspector for the permit or
Okay.
anything else with the deck.
All right, so I guess on my motion, then we will just not include the building permit in that motion.
that's.
So these are
correct.
just for the 7 items that you've already completed?
Yeah.
Okay.
What we need is a motion for these 7 items that have
Right.
already been completed.
Yeah.
You'd like to make that motion?
Yes, that's what I think mostly I said. Did I leave something out on that?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
You did it. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, Ms. Hartshorn, to approve the 7 items that have already been completed and accept all these changes that the applicant has made to the structure.
I'll second that.
Okay?
Thank you.
Second by Mr. Anderson. Any further comment? Do we have any comments from the public? Okay, all right, roll call.
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bowman.
Aye.
Okay, so part 2 now is what the work that you want to do coming up that you have not done. And that consists of this railing.
Correct.
All right, and the railing, he's shown us a picture of the railing with the pickets that are,
Yeah,
that
I
are,
think my honor.
that are either going to be wood or they're going to be metal.
Yeah, I guess I would ask, I mean, I'll make them from wood, but the idea, literally half an hour before the meeting, asked if we could, if
Oh.
wrought iron is appropriate.
Yeah,
So-
it's an appropriate material, so it's your personal choice.
Okay. So, the thing about it is, we hadn't made a choice. I just drew that up 15 minutes before I got here, so, and the wrought iron came up between the time I got it.
Okay.
So,
Well, what we can do probably is give him approval of this if we want to be either.
if you could approve it as I've drawn it, and if we choose wrought iron, I can come back and.
Or
let
you can
know.
go to Gabe's office and show it to him, I think, and
Correct.
Mayana, right, and see if it's within our guidelines.
What is your timeline for that?
Well, as soon as, I want to put it in as soon as possible. I want the inspector to come and, but really the rail needs to be up before the inspector comes.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so you'd like to have something, like to have your approval before our next meeting then?
Yes.
You would like to not to have to
So
continue
is
it?
there a way he can?
So, if I could interject, your preference is wrought iron then?
You want
Yeah,
that?
I just need to make sure the guy can get it done on time.
Yeah. Wrought iron.
Okay,
The
so,
design that I have, I think I've taken a picture from the Summers building that was approved by y'all, so that would be kind of like something that we, because I'm.
Can I see it
Yeah,
here?
you want to show? That way it'd be easy to show.
And I can send this to you. I'll pass that down.
The railing, so if you do metal, it'll be like the railing that's around the corner, the top of the Summers building.
Yeah.
Which we have approved.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, and that's what you would like to do?
Yes.
So that's your preference?
Mhm.
All right.
so you could put that in your motion as to say you approve the deck as you think if it's good enough that meets the guidelines, that meets, that you could say the deck is approved with the railing that is presented.
As shown at the meeting.
You could to specify wrought iron as the railing material.
Okay.
In your motion.
All
And
right.
if you could just email that picture to Gabe, that way we can put it in.
We will.
Thanks.
I'll send this.
Okay. So do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion to approve
Okay.
deck as planned with the wrought iron railing.
With the wrought iron railing
Yes.
as shown.
Thank you.
So,
We've
a
talked
motion.
about this in the past, that it's not necessarily gonna be wrought iron. It could be steel or aluminum, metal is approved.
Do you know that for a fact that it's wrought iron?
Yeah, this came from her brother,
Uh-huh.
who,
You know, it really could be painted steel.
That powder coated
Right.
steel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why don't we
I
give
would
you
like
some,
powder coated
why don't we
steel.
give you some room
yeah,
on that?
Metal.
less of a maintenance
Just say,
issue.
We'll
say.
use the word metal.
Say metal?
Metal.
Let's say
right.
metal, okay. All right. So the motion is to approve, from Ms. Bunn, is to approve the railing as drawn and made out of metal,
Yes,
black metal,
correct.
black metal. Okay, is that good? All right. Do I
Okay.
have
Well-
do I have a second? Not yet?
We're approving it to match another
Yes.
situation, not as drawn
Yes.
necessarily.
Yes.
So shouldn't that be part of the motion?
Well, it can be.
That's why I made the request for them to actually email us this picture that he showed you all, so we can put that into.
Yeah,
Yeah, which will-
we might be
which-
able to get the detail from the architect if
Okay.
you have that much.
So we could probably add to that minutes that the photograph of it is attached. Okay. All right. Second.
I'll second.
Okay, Peyton Boyd seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Okay.
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
Okay, I have something else to ask him about. In the pencil drawing we have on our page 8, you're showing some exterior lighting. Do you have a plan for exterior lighting on the house? You've got like next to the door there and some things.
Oh. Oh. The lighting. Yeah, can you do that?
We just need to include that,
Okay.
Right.
just so you don't have to come back.
That I can send over with that email. So the idea is to probably do a raw brass, just fitting with, it will look very, I build my own lighting, and I just copy it
Okay.
from already historic stuff, so. And I have actually pictures that are very similar, other people's photographs that I can just draw.
So you'll have just the one, or are you having one upstairs, one down?
Just one that's right by the door here. I mean,
Okay.
if we do light underneath, it wouldn't be seen, you know, it'd just be like, or even pathway lighting, not connected to the structure.
We can send that.
Well, I
as well.
bet you won't need to do that before the month is out, and you could just come back with lighting on the next meeting.
Yeah, we can do that,
Right.
as well as, because we'll need to also, and this would probably be a year from now, but I'd like to go and just wrap it up on the front of the building. So I don't know how many of you have driven down this.
We have.
Yeah, it's through like the yard. but
Yes.
It's right, there's a picture of the very front of it.
Uh-huh.
So we would like to, it was obviously kind of butchered at some point, I think in the 70s. They
Mhm.
turned it into apartments, but the front facade, which I don't see a photograph here of. You want to go ahead and get drawings for that? Would that help? And we can just get it all done at once rather than piecemealing as far as even what might happen 9 months down the road or a year?
Well, if you get a certificate of appropriateness, you have it for a year, so.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That would fall in that timeframe.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I'd just like to get everything drawn up and done at once.
So if you want to
That
clean
makes
it
sense.
up and give us, like, you know, we can approve what you're going to do now, and then if you want to come back with what you've decided
sounds
to
perfect.
finish
Right.
out with, we
Okay.
can knock that out in one meeting.
That sounds great, yeah.
All right.
So is there any need to go ahead and send that email of the light fixture now, or should I just
Well, if
wait?
you are not totally set on it,
Right?
you don't have to send
Yeah,
it
just
now.
right
Just why
before
don't
you're
you just
ready.
plan for
Okay.
the next meeting, but do it in time for that meeting.
Right, okay.
Okay.
And can we go ahead, we could already be on the motion for the next meeting?
We-
Or that can-
On the calendar? Get
So
the-
that I would require another COA application
Okay,
and then a full, and then specs and everything of the lights and everything.
Okay.
So if we don't have that, then you wouldn't be able to come before me, because then they have nothing to
Are you
review.
talking about in here?
I just want to get all.
Yeah.
So, but I would say, you know, if you have more than the lighting, put everything that you want to do on that one COA. So this way, like I think Christy mentioned, you're not piecemealing it.
Yeah.
You have everything there, so you can have 5 things. If there's 5 things you want approved, you can
Right.
get those 5 things
And
approved.
then you don't have to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and if it's not the next meeting, you know,
Whenever you get
yeah.
around to it.
And like I said, if you just call the office, ask for Gabe,
Okay.
and I'll work with you and get you on the agenda when we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to do something with that, because they laid cinder block on top of a wood beam, and it's here, so the termites have eaten part of the beam.
Fun
So
times.
we gotta figure out what to do with that.
But yeah, so we're.
Well, we appreciate you fixing it up. It was great.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't need this, do you? This is the
That's
iron
color.
ore?
So we already saw it.
5.
We went up there and saw it.
Okay.
Snooping around your property.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So the next application is from Franklin White, 227 West Valley Street. Is Mr. White here? I think. Yes, good. Okay. We'll have the staff report first.
So yes, the request is from Franklin White, applicant/owner has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of a wood-framed front gable shed with a brick foundation located in the northwest corner of the lot. The property is located at 277 West Valley Street. The property is within the old and historic zoning district, sub-district 2, the residentially focused. Background, according to Places and Time, Volume 2, written by Nancy King, the building was built in 1923 and is known as the Arthur A. McConnell House. Adjacent to the west is the William T. McConnell House, built in 1921. William T. McConnell and Rose Bradley also owned a dwelling and farm in the Green Spring community, where they operated a grocery and general store. William T. McConnell and Rose Bradley had 2 children named Arthur A. McConnell and Floyd B. McConnell. So from that, the father and one of their sons actually lived right next door to each other, so it's kind of cool in that sense. And the shed actually, and you'll get into it more in a sense, but the shed sits pretty much on the property line for the 2. So my guess was back in the day, family owned it, so they just put the shed right on the property line. So 277 West Valley Street, as the primary resource, is a 1.5-story, 3-bay building built in the Craftsman style in bungalow form. According to the Department of Historic Resources, DHR, a 1970 garage as a secondary resource associated with 277 West Valley Street retains a good level of architectural integrity, but is non-contributing. Staff findings. As I said, the applicant proposes to demolish a front gable wood frame shed, otherwise known as a secondary resource, located in the northwest corner of the lot. Staff visited the site on April 17th, 2024, conducted a walkthrough of the building with the applicant and performed various types of documentation. The front gable wood frame shed is located in the northwest corner of the lot. The north elevation measures 18 feet, 4 7/8 inches long. The east elevation measures 20 feet, 4 inches long. The south elevation measures 17 feet, 11 7/8 inches long. And the west elevation measures 20 feet, 3 1/8 inches long. The height of the building from the ground to the peak of the roof is 14 feet, 5 inches tall. The height and then the height of the building from the ground to the east eave is 8 feet, 4 inches tall, and the height from the ground to the west eave is 9 feet, 7 inches tall. And so here's the north elevation, the northeast elevation, the east elevation, southeast, and we're just kind of going around the building, as you can see there. So first, a single width of brick laid in a running bond pattern provides the foundation for the shed. The single width brick foundation has undergone numerous repointing campaigns where lime-based and Portland cement-based mortars were used. The existing brick foundation has spalled in numerous sections and shows evidence of settlement and is bulging out at various points throughout. So as you can see here, here's just some site photos of where the foundation's been cracked, it's bulging out, so you can see definitely from the top left one, you can see where the wall is pretty much bulging out to the east. And there's just some more photos. And there's a settlement, so when you're in, it's kind of hard to tell from a photo, but you can see that the walls have moved. One's higher than the other, so it's kind of hard to see in this photo a little bit, but you can see how one beam's a little, one joist is a little higher than the other one as you're going from back to front. The east and south and west walls are constructed using vertical boards alternating between a wider board followed by a thinner board. The north wall has a set of double doors. Roof sheathing consists of unpainted pressed tin shingles in 2 different styles. Numerous different types of hardware were observed, representing several different hardware replacements campaigns have occurred. Numerous nails were inspected on site. No machine-cut nails were found, only wire-cut nails. So, when doing some research with the Sanborn maps, there is a shed that shows up in the same place, same footprint as this one does in 1924. The problem is, though, that one would have machine-cut nails if that was 1920s. This one had no machine-cut nails, all wire-cut, so it matches DHR's thing of 1970. So this is most likely probably not the original shed that the family built. This was probably, it was in the same spot, it's in the same place, but it's been replaced, and that's why it's not contributing as well. Extensive biogrowth in the form of ivy and wood rot can be seen throughout the exterior and interior of the building. So here's just some examples. Obviously, this photo's taken when everything wasn't in full bloom just yet. But so there's ivy all throughout on the walls, and it's crept into the interior as well. So there's another photo. You can see it's got into the eaves. Another photo. This is where it's gone from the eave into the interior. Again, this is just the other side. This is more ivy. In addition to extensive ivy, termites have caused extensive damage to various parts of the building. So this is just one example of showing termite damage to one of the boards inside. There was also multiple other places. There's also numerous places of wood rot, both here and you can see in the roof where sheathing was put up there at one point. You can see through the roof and through the walls. And so lastly, there are visible holes in the roof. The existing roof is beyond repair and would require a total replacement. So while on site, I didn't see any example of machine cut nails that would say this was the original McConnell's family's shed. It's a 1970 shed. So it's non-contributing building. A lot of it, ivy has taken it over. The foundation has seemed to be bulging in multiple places, so it would require an extensive repair. The roof would require a total makeshift, and biogrowth has overrun the building. Speaking with the applicant as well, they've gone through extensive trying to find somebody to fix it, and the applicant can come up and kind of go through that whole process that they tried to find somebody to fix it before coming before you today with this.
Okay. Mr. White?
So Frank White, 277 Valley Street Northwest. So, yeah, as Mr. Cristofari said, we had someone from JES Foundations out of Salem, Virginia, that they do, because very few people do that type of work. They do Southwest Virginia, Maryland, and even parts of Tennessee. And the guy came and he looked at it for quite a while, and he said his engineer would not even put a bid on how to fix that. He said it's a total tear down. So,
It looks like it has some elements of age on it, but it looks like it has had a lot of repairs, and as
Yeah.
Gabe has said, lots of repairs
Yeah.
and additions and.
it's falling down
and
as we speak
as we
right
speak.
now.
I mean, we
So-
have a shed like this on our property, and I feel that it's dangerous to not do
Yeah.
something.
So, given its non-contributing nature because of all that, and the fact that it is almost getting to be a danger at this point, I imagine, yes. Do we have any further comments here?
What are you planning to do once you take it down?
So once that shed is taken down, we are having plans drawn up. We would like to put a two-car garage in that similar back corner, which would actually be wholly contained within our property, not straddling the property line at that site. And that's, once those plans are drawn, we will submit those to you all for
Yeah.
additional.
You wouldn't use the foundation, you would take the brick foundation?
All of that would be gone. Yeah, we would do a poured concrete, real foundation. I have no idea what's underneath that thing.
All right. Would anybody have another further comment? Would you like to comment further?
No, I think that's good. I was just wondering what they were gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be in a complementary style, kind of to the Craftsman, to the existing home.
Okay. Any further comments down this way? All right. There are, just for way of information, there's at least one other shed on Plum Alley down the road that has a shed that's shared between the two properties that are next door to each other. That's an odd thing, but we have another one. That was in pretty good shape,
At
though.
that time, I don't think,
Yeah.
when families all shared everything.
I
it was
know,
probably-
isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion then to approve the demolition?
I'll make the motion to approve the demolition.
Mr. Anderson has approved the demolition of the shed there for this address. Second?
Okay, I'll second that.
Second by Christie. Any further comment? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bond.
Aye.
Good.
Thank you all very much.
Well, you're welcome. You know, we do value the sheds
Yeah,
a
it
lot,
is.
but this one looks like it is really beyond it.
It's kind of scary.
Right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot for coming. Okay. The next one is, the next certificate is James Dayton, 133 West Valley Street.
So, just to let you know, the applicant isn't here, but he couldn't make it. But you do have the ability to
Yeah.
table this one, but I felt that this one was pretty simple.
Straightforward.
Where that was
Yeah.
not needed. But again, you always hold that opportunity to table if you feel you have some questions.
Okay.
So, the request from James Dane, applicant/owner, has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for the replacement of an existing 80-foot by 9-foot asphalt driveway with concrete, and the replacement of an existing concrete walkway consisting of 4 sections or slabs, with 4 sections or slabs of concrete to match existing. The property is located at 133 West Valley Street. And the property is within the old historic zoning district, sub-district 2, residentially focused. Background, according to Places in Time, Volume 2, written by Nancy King, the building was built in 1922 and is known as the Elliott/Vance House. H.M. Elliott operated an insurance business in town. Later in 1928, the building came to be owned by Sally H. Vance from 1928 to her death in 1965. The 1.5-story, 2-bay primary building was built in the Craftsman style, bungalow form. The dwelling possesses good architectural integrity, retaining its overall massing and historic period windows. A 1960 1-story, 1-bay front gable garage is the only secondary resource associated with the property and similarly retains a good level of architectural integrity. Staff findings, the applicant proposes to replace an existing 80-foot by 9-foot asphalt driveway with concrete and replace an existing concrete walkway consisting of 4 sections or slabs with 4 sections or slabs of concrete to match existing. First, according to the design guidelines 8-A, concrete is an appropriate type of material for driveways within the old and historic district. The material change from asphalt to concrete would bring the existing driveway into compliance with the guidelines. The existing asphalt driveway connects into West Valley Street from the north and runs along the southeastern lot line, terminating into a secondary building previously mentioned, located adjacent but set back behind the northeast corner of the primary building. So as you can see here, here's the driveway, and it's asphalt paved at the moment. They're looking to do it in concrete. Second, an 11-course brick retaining wall laid in a running bond pattern capped by a single course of row-lock bricks runs along the southern lot line, and approximately the southwest corner of the lot, the brick retaining wall is breached by a flight of 9 unpainted concrete steps with a black painted metal railing on either side, leading to a concrete walkway consisting of 4 individual sections or slabs, then terminating into a flight of 6 steps, 5 concrete and 1 brick, painted a light blue color, with a painted black metal railing on either side onto a wooden front porch with tongue and groove flooring. The existing concrete walkway consists of 4 individual sections or slabs. Replacement of the existing concrete walkway consisting of 4 individual sections or slabs of concrete is a waiver eligible action. The replacement 4 sections or slabs of concrete must match the existing material, design, and appearance. So here's kind of the first flight of steps. They're all concrete. Here's the railing. Front view, side view. Here's the walkway that they're going to be replacing. They have a lot of spalling from the concrete, as you can see here and here. There's some damage. There's another one. And there's the unpainted steps. So as mentioned, they're going to be replacing the existing concrete walkway like for like. So really the only thing that you are reviewing today to do a motion on is to change the asphalt driveway from asphalt to concrete, which would bring it into compliance with the guidelines. So again, I felt the applicant he wanted to be here, but he couldn't make it due to unforeseen circumstances. But I felt that this one, again, you hold the ability to table it if you have any questions or if you feel this needs further explanation from the applicant. But I felt this one was pretty simple, and you hold that to either you can make a motion or table it.
Okay, so the applicant is not here. Do we have any comments from anybody here about any of it, or
The stairs are not
questions?
being replaced, is that right, Gabe?
No, just the walkway.
Just
So
the
just,
Just the upper, the wall, the
so
sidewalk?
just these sections right here. This one, so this front one, this one, and then there's a back one.
So that, where that's falling, that's part of the walkway slab, right? So I
Yeah.
assume they'll repair that at the same time.
Yeah, they're gonna be repairing all that. And I've already talked with the applicant to make sure that, the stair here, it's part of the stairs, but not really, it's part of the walkway, and this profile is maintained when he's talking to his contractor. So
Okay.
this was really a waiver eligible action, but I had him put it all on one COA, so this way it wouldn't be on 2 separate things, because it's all really one project together.
And what are they doing with the blue stairs?
Nothing.
They're just, you
Yeah,
just put them
nothing. Yeah, I was just showing you the whole, if you were to traverse from the bottom to the top, just showing you the full thing, but really it's just the walkway here.
Okay.
But again, that's just a waiver eligible action where they're replacing concrete with concrete.
And so they want to replace the driveway from asphalt to concrete.
Yep.
All right,
Which again will bring it into the compliance with the guidelines.
okay. All right. If there are no further comments, could we have a motion?
I will make that motion to replace the asphalt driveway with concrete.
All right, Ms. Brooke made the motion to replace the asphalt driveway with concrete as requested.
I'll second that.
Mr. Anderson seconds that motion. Any further comment? Roll call.
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bowman.
Aye.
Okay. So our last one is an application from George Reese, who is in Atlanta, but his property here on Main Street is 332 East Main Street. Staff report, please.
So again, just like the last one, you hold the ability to table it, but I felt that this one was a relatively easy one in that sense. So George Reese, applicant/owner, has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for numerous repairs and replacements to the existing roofing and gutters/downspouts located on the primary building. Replace all originally pre-finished, replace all pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding on the entire upper portion of the building's roof, with pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding. The existing roof cladding is 40 years old. 2, replace the north-facing shed awnings, pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof cladding with exposed fasteners, with a pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof cladding with exposed fasteners. Replace existing pre-finished light brown color OG gutters and rectangular downspouts located on the front of the building with copper half-round gutters and round downspouts to match gutters and downspouts located on the rear of the primary building. The property is located at 332 East Main Street. The property is within the old and historic zoning district, sub-district 1, the entrance corridor, and can be seen from a public right-of-way. Some background. This building does have like a very unique history, so if you have any questions, feel free to jump right in. Background, according to Places in Time, Volume 2, written by Nancy C. King. Mrs. Krager had a woodworking shop in an old log barn previously brought to the property. During the late 1940s, construction on the South Holston Dam began, however, and the area became flooded, damaging multiple abandoned properties. Mrs. Krager's son, R.B. or Brad Krager, rescued logs and rock foundations from old cabins, barns, and mills, and used them to build the house now located on the site of the former woodworking shop. So, as we see with this history, this isn't just a standard, somebody built a house and it has this type of roofing. This was built from recycled materials that were from all over during that flood. So this is why it might not have the standing seam roof, is because it was made from recycled materials. And again, there's no evidence to show that it had a standing seam roof. This is the one it's always had. So based on that and the history, that's why there might be some leniency with that, with the art type. The two-story, four-bay primary building was built around 1949 in the rustic revival style. The dwelling possesses good architectural integrity, retaining its overall massing and historic period windows. A continuous, rough-cut, regular course stone-clad foundation supports a structural system covered in the same stone on the first story, and partial dovetailed notch logs on the second story. The side gable roof is clad in art-type metal with exposed fasteners. The dwelling has a large exterior end stone chimney, which is off-centered on the north elevation. The primary entry is recessed and centered on the north elevation. It is filled by a single-leaf, half-glazed wood Dutch door and storm door. Additional fenestration includes a single and tripartite 8/8 double-hung sash wood-framed windows and metal storm windows, some with wood lintels. A shed awning clad in R-type metal with exposed fasteners with exposed rafters shelters the primary entry. The building has a one-story multi-bay extension on the south elevation that is clad in the same materials as the core of the building. A portion of the extension protrudes from the west elevation as well. Staff findings. The applicant proposes numerous repairs and replacements to the existing roofing and gutter/downspouts located on the primary building. 1, replace all pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding on the entire upper portion of the building's roof with pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding. The existing roof cladding is 40 years old. Replace the north-facing shed awnings pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof cladding with exposed fasteners with pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof cladding with exposed fasteners. And 3rd, replace existing pre-finished light brown color OG gutters and return downspouts located on the front of the building with copper half-round gutters around downspouts to match gutters and downspouts located on the rear of the primary building. First, the entire upper portion of the building's roof, originally clad in pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding, will be replaced with pre-finished dark green R-type with exposed fasteners metal roof cladding to match existing. The replacement, as described, is a waiver-eligible action. Second, the existing shed awning, clad in pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof panels with exposed fasteners, will be replaced with pre-finished dark green R-type metal roof panels with exposed fasteners to match existing. The replacement, as described, is a waiver-eligible action. The north-facing shed awning cladding matches the building's primary roof cladding. And third, this is the one that this is the one they've come for approval for. Third, the existing pre-finished light brown OG gutters and rectangular downspouts located on the front of the building will be replaced with copper half-round gutters around downspouts as highlighted in the photos below in your staff report. The proposed copper half-round gutters around downspouts will match the copper half-round gutters around downspouts located on the rear of the primary building. So here's what's the existing one that's on the front of the building. It's OG, light brown. They're just metal, probably aluminum or something. And this is what they have on the back currently now. So they've replaced the OG and then they put these copper ones. So again, the first 2 items were waiverable actions, and again with the history, typically In our guidelines, we don't allow R-type, but because this one has a very unique history, I feel this is a case basis where it was made from recycled materials, obviously from secondary resources such as sheds, barns, and everything, that this is an appropriate type. And it was 1940, so this one would have been around that time. So if you have any questions for me, I can also pull up, give me 1 sec. I'll just show you even more where the gutters will be. Give me 1 sec, I pull that up.
Did they have to come for approval for the gutters in the back or in the?
No, this is also part of where we just expanded the OH district,
Okay.
and these gutters would not have been visible from our public
Okay.
right of way in the back
All
there.
right.
And those were, and the roofing in the back was replaced in 2022, so that's again before they were in the OH district.
Gotcha.
Oop, I don't know why I just did this, but I can show you here with my cursor. So there's one downspout here, one gutter here, another gutter that goes all along here, and another downspout right here. And then again, I don't know why we did this, but you've got another gutter here, and another downspout here. So all those will be replaced with half-round copper, and that comes into our guidelines.
So with the replacement of the gutters with half rounds, it brings the gutters into compliance
Mhm.
with our guidelines,
Mhm.
but not the roof.
The roof is waiver eligible action, and again, I would say in our guidelines, we typically don't allow R-type, but again, there's no evidence that shows that this roof is the original in some cases. And also it was made of recycled materials. So again, it's a case-by-case basis with every house, isn't just another house that somebody just built and followed the same kind of mold in a sense. It's
But
a very
they're
unique
replacing
case.
like for like.
And they're
So
replacing
there's
like for
nothing-
like, so it's
The only thing
waiver.
that you're looking at is the gutters.
Mhm.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve or disapprove the gutters?
I'll make a motion to approve them as presented.
There's a motion on the floor by Ms. Hartsong to approve the gutters, replacing the gutters with half-round copper gutters
Correct.
To
throughout.
match the ones in the back.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
To match the
Oh,
ones
to
in the
match the
back.
ones in the back, yes. Okay. All right, do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Ms. Bunn seconds that. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, you're good,
Sorry.
you're good, you're good.
I think everybody said that.
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
Very well done packet this month.
Hey, there was some great picture
Yeah.
work in there. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
See?
they're always well
Very
done.
clear.
Yes.
I'll pick my packet up. I'm trying to study it.
One of the,
Oh, no, you're
I'm getting on it, but.
with the creek in the foreground is a real nice view.
Okay.
Hey, can you put that one?
Okay.
Could you recycle that?
And with Jamie
Okay.
as part of our team, we're putting presentations
Is that
together
breaking
instead of
up?
scrolling through the packet, so
Is it working?
Nice.
adding skills and
It's
better
very good.
presentations.
It's a very good packet, very good.
Yeah.
packet.
And then,
And it certainly is nice to be able to pick them up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very
I
nice.
picked mine up, actually, that's what I was telling Gabe,
Good.
took mine home to study it today,
It-
so.
It helps, doesn't it?
And it was very detailed,
Yeah,
with great
it helps.
picture work in every one of the categories, so.
Okay.
Nice work.
Would you like to go over now, the rest of it, matters that are not on the agenda?
Sure. So I just put this in here just to give you guys an update. So Preservation Day, CLG update. We've applied for a CLG grant for Preservation Day for it to be our third consecutive year in a row. We've also applied for funds to help out with the design guidelines for illustrations and photos and to bring that into kind of a design format packet. And so I've already reached out to a few people to be speakers. One is gonna be hopefully Daniel.
Yeah.
I have to reach out to him still. Mike Pulis, he so graciously, right after Preservation Day last year, he said, hey, can I come and do a talk on masonry and bricks? So I've already reached out to him. He's more than happy to do it. And then we've also reached out to another speaker, which I'm waiting to hear back from still. So we have
Good.
things in the works for that one.
It's really, really good.
And then the cost share grant update, I think Ms. Bunn and Mr. Anderson weren't here when that happened, but when Mike Pulis came by on, I think it was December of 2022, that we needed to update our NRHP form, and we had a survey in 2020 done where we need to bring that information in. The cost share grant is where one where it allows to take off the administrative burden on a town or a city to do that. And so DHR takes over that responsibility and hires somebody, but they're still in contact with us. So we've applied for money for that to hopefully get our both National Register nomination forms, both 1970, which is the original one, and 1986, which is the expansion one, to be all updated with all new information and all done. So we're waiting to hear back with that one.
Are we in time for that? I know he had expressed concern that we were actually running out of the time period.
Nope, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah, when
Okay.
we went to
Okay.
the training in Martinsville,
Uh-huh.
Blake McDonald, he's the one that runs the cost share grant, and
Uh-huh.
I made sure to ask him. And so since that day in December,
Okay,
Betsy was there a couple times when I was talking with him, but we've been in constant communication with them, and I believe we submitted it.
okay, good.
And so we're waiting to hear back if we've been approved.
Good, very good.
So that one's also another one that we've checked off the box.
Okay, that's great.
And then if you have any questions about the waivers, I can answer any, but it's just straight replacement or repair.
Okay, all right. Anybody have anything to ask or question, comments? All right then.
Do we have another meeting for our guideline revisions or anything?
That'll be coming up rather shortly, yeah.
Okay.
Probably next month, yeah.
Okay.
Okay then, all right then. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Mr. Anderson? Ms. Bun makes the second.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, roll call.
Mr. Boyd?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye,
Mrs. Bunn?
Aye.
thank you.
Can you take this one?